Admiral Kang Daeho stared at the massive screen showing the star map of the Milky Way galaxy. Thousands of green dots showed worlds that belonged to the Galactic Council. Each dot represented a different alien species that came to the big meetings every few months. Some had 4 arms, others breathed methane, and a few lived in the cold space between stars. But they all talked, traded, and worked together. Well, almost all of them. Lieutenant Yoon Hana walked up to the Admiral with a confused look on her face. She held a datapad that showed something strange. "Sir, I found something weird in the Council records. There's a planet called Earth that should be getting invitations to our meetings, but the file says contact was lost over 3,000 years ago." Daeho raised an eyebrow. In all his years serving the Altarian Defense Fleet, he had never heard of a world just disappearing from the Council records. "Show me," he said. Hana pointed to the screen. "Look here. Earth is in a system called Sol. The records show the Council sent them messages when the galaxy first started working together. The humans seemed smart and curious. They asked lots of questions about other worlds and how the Council worked. Then one day they just stopped talking." The Admiral looked at the file more closely. Earth was marked in red with the words, "Signal lost, no response." Below that was a note that said, "Likely extinct or returned to primitive state." "What do the experts think happened?" Daeho asked. Hana scrolled through more files. "Some think they destroyed themselves with nuclear weapons. Others believe a plague killed them all. A few scientists think their star had a big solar flare that wiped out their technology. After 500 years of trying to contact them, the Council gave up." Daeho felt curious about this mystery. "Where is this Earth now?" "About 40 light years from here, sir. It would only take us 2 days to check it out." The Admiral thought for a moment. His ship was supposed to deliver some trade agreements to a nearby system, but that could wait. A mystery this old was worth investigating. "Set course for Earth," he ordered. 2 days later, their ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Sol system. What they saw made everyone on the bridge stop talking. Earth was not dead. The blue and green planet sparkled with lights on the dark side, showing huge cities. The moon had been changed too, with massive metal structures covering its surface. Other planets in the system had buildings on them as well. "Sir," called out the sensor officer, "I'm detecting millions of life signs on Earth. There are also space stations around every planet and moon in this system." Dr. Park Soo-jin, the ship's expert on old civilizations, looked at her readings with wide eyes. "Admiral, these humans are not primitive. Their technology is advanced, maybe more advanced than ours. Look at these energy readings." Daeho studied the data. The numbers showed power sources stronger than anything the Council used. "Why aren't they responding to our signals?" "Maybe they don't want to talk to us," Hana suggested quietly. Before anyone could answer, their ship's computer made a warning sound. "Alert, unknown scanning beams detected. Source unknown." The Admiral looked around the bridge. "Are they scanning us?" "Yes, sir, but I can't find where the scans are coming from. It's like they're invisible." Dr. Soo-jin checked her instruments again. "Admiral, I think we need to be very careful. The humans have been watching the galaxy for thousands of years. They know we're here, but we can't see them." Suddenly, the main screen lit up with an image of a human man in a dark blue uniform. He had kind eyes but spoke with a serious voice. "Greetings, visitors from the Altarian Defense Fleet. I am Commander Choi Ji-woo of Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Division. We have been watching your approach for the past 6 hours." Daeho stepped forward. "Commander Choi, I am Admiral Kang Daeho. We came here because the Galactic Council lost contact with Earth over 3,000 years ago. We wanted to make sure your people were safe." The human smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "We received all the Council's messages, Admiral. We chose not to answer them. But why? The Council helps worlds work together. We share technology, knowledge, and resources. Why would you refuse to join us?" Commander Choi's expression became serious. "Because we were listening to everything, Admiral. We heard about the wars, the forced changes to weaker species, and the civilizations that disappeared after joining the Council. We decided to watch and learn instead of rushing to join something we didn't understand." Hana whispered to the Admiral. "Sir, he's saying they've been spying on the entire galaxy." "That is correct." "Lieutenant," Commander Choi said, somehow hearing her whisper, "we have been observing galactic civilization for over 3 millennia. We learned your languages, studied your technology, and mapped your territories. We know about every war, every treaty, and every species that has gone extinct since the Council began." The Admiral felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you want from us?" Right now, we want you to stay and talk. We think it's time for Earth to meet the galaxy properly, but first we need to discuss some things. What kind of things? The kind of things that happen when a world chooses to stay hidden while building the most powerful space fleet in galactic history. Before Deho could ask what that meant, their ship's engineer called out in panic. Admiral, our faster-than-light drive just shut down. I can't restart it. Commander Choi's image remained calm. Don't worry, Admiral. Your ship is perfectly safe. We just prefer that visitors stay until we finish our conversation. After all, we have a lot to talk about after 3,000 years of silence. The Admiral looked around his bridge. His crew stared at their instruments in confusion. Somehow, this world that was supposed to be primitive had disabled their most advanced technology without even trying. Commander Choi, Deho said slowly, exactly how powerful is Earth's space fleet? The human's smile returned, and this time it was genuinely friendly. Admiral, you're about to find out why Earth missed every galaxy meeting. We weren't hiding because we were weak. We were preparing for something much bigger than council politics. Outside the ship's windows, space itself seemed to shimmer. Slowly, shapes began to appear where there had been empty darkness. Massive ships, each one larger than anything in the council fleet, materialized around them. The Admiral realized that Earth hadn't been silent for 3,000 years. They had been watching, waiting, and building. Now they were ready to show the galaxy what they had learned. Fleet Admiral Lee Min-ho stood in the command center deep beneath Earth's surface. The room buzzed with activity as hundreds of humans worked at glowing screens. This was the heart of Earth's secret space program, hidden from alien eyes for over 3,000 years. Admiral, called out Lieutenant Park So-young from her station. The Altarian ship has entered our outer detection grid. They're scanning the system. Min-ho nodded. Let them look. It's time they knew the truth about Earth. Commander Choi Ji-woo appeared on the main screen from his ship in orbit. Sir, I've made contact with the aliens. Their admiral seems confused about why we never answered the council's messages. Good. Bring them to the moon base. It's time for them to see what we've built. Min-ho walked to a large window that showed the Earth's surface above. To any alien watching, Earth looked like a normal world with cities and farms. They couldn't see the massive underground factories, the hidden shipyards, or the training centers where millions of humans prepared for the day they would meet the galaxy. Dr. Kim So-young, Earth's head scientist, joined him at the window. The aliens will be shocked when they learn what we've accomplished, she said. That's the point, Min-ho replied. For 3,000 years, we've watched the galaxy make the same mistakes over and over. Strong species pushing around weak ones. Wars fought over resources that could be shared. Entire civilizations destroyed because they couldn't defend themselves. And now we're ready to change things. The Admiral turned to address the command center. Attention, everyone. Today marks the end of Earth's isolation. We're about to show the galaxy what humans can do when we work together toward a common goal. On the moon, Ambassador Nam Hyun-woo prepared to meet with the Altarian delegation. The moon's surface looked normal from space, but underneath was the largest shipyard ever built. Thousands of humans worked around the clock building vessels that would make the rest of the galaxy's fleets look like toys. Nam Hyun-woo had studied every species in the galaxy. He knew their languages, their customs, and their fears. He also knew their weaknesses. Admiral Kang Dae-ho and his crew were brought to a meeting room with a view of space. They couldn't see it yet, but outside the window, invisible ships waited in formation. Admiral, Nam Hyun-woo began. Thank you for coming to Earth. I know this must be confusing for you. That's an understatement, Dae-ho replied. Your people have been missing from galactic civilization for 3 millennia. The Council thought you were extinct. We know what the Council thought. We wanted them to think that. Lieutenant Hana spoke up. But why? The galaxy could have benefited from human knowledge and culture. Nam Hyun-woo smiled sadly. Lieutenant, in the past 3,000 years, how many wars has the galaxy fought? I don't know the exact number. 47 major wars, Lieutenant. 163 smaller conflicts. 32 species forced to change their entire cultures to fit what stronger species wanted. 11 civilizations completely extinct. The Altarians sat in shocked silence. We listened to every council meeting, Nam Hyun-woo continued. We heard the speeches about peace while wars raged across the galaxy. We watched strong species take resources from weak ones while the council talked about fairness. Dr. Park Soo-jin leaned forward. What did you do instead? We prepared. While the galaxy fought over trade routes, we built ships. While species argued about territory, we developed new technology. While the Council made laws that only protected the powerful, we created weapons that could defend the powerless. Admiral Daeho felt a growing sense of unease. What kind of weapons? Nam Hyun-woo touched a control panel, and the window became transparent. Outside, space filled with enormous ships. Each one was the size of a small moon, covered in armor and bristling with weapons that looked nothing like anything in the galactic database. My God, whispered Hana. This is just the local defense fleet. Nam Hyun-woo said calmly. We have much larger forces stationed throughout the galaxy. Throughout the galaxy? Daeho asked. How is that possible? Admiral, while you've been limited to the speed of light for communication and slow faster than light travel, we developed quantum communication and instantaneous travel technology. Our ships can reach any point in the galaxy in minutes, not months. Dr. Park stared at the massive fleet outside. How many ships do you have? Enough. That's not an answer. Nam Hyun-woo's expression became serious. Dr. Park, we have enough ships to end every war in the galaxy simultaneously. We have enough firepower to defend every threatened species. We have enough technology to solve resource shortages that have caused conflicts for centuries. Why are you telling us this? Admiral Daeho asked. Because it's time for the galaxy to change. We've watched long enough. On Earth, Fleet Admiral Minho received a report from deep space monitors. The data showed massive fleet movements across the galaxy. Several powerful species were mobilizing their forces, sensing that something big was about to happen. Sir, called out Captain Jang Yejin from the flagship Earthrise. Long-range sensors show the hegemony of 5 is assembling their combined fleet. They seem to know something is happening. Minho wasn't surprised. The galaxy's most powerful military alliance had stayed in power by destroying any threat to their control. They wouldn't like learning about Earth's hidden fleet. Good, he said. It's time they learned that the galaxy has a new protector. Dr. Kim So-young approached with a tablet full of data. Admiral, our scout ships report that 14 species are currently under threat of extinction. 6 worlds are being stripped of resources by stronger neighbors. 3 civil wars could be stopped if someone powerful enough intervened. Then let's intervene. Minho activated the galaxy-wide communication system. Every world, every ship, every space station would receive this message simultaneously. Greetings, beings of the Milky Way galaxy. This is Fleet Admiral Lee Minho of Earth. For 3,000 years, my people have watched your civilizations grow, fight, and struggle. We chose to remain hidden while we learned about you and prepared for this day. On the Altarian ship, Admiral Daeho and his crew watched in amazement as their communication system activated on its own, showing the human admiral's message. We are no longer hiding, Minho continued. Earth demands an immediate end to all aggressive wars. Species being forced to change their cultures must be left alone. Worlds being stripped of resources must be protected. You have 72 standard hours to begin peace talks, and if we refuse, came a transmission from the hegemony fleet. Minho's expression didn't change. Then Earth will impose peace by force. We have the power to stop every conflict in the galaxy, and we will use it. The transmission ended, leaving the galaxy in stunned silence. On the moon base, Nam Hyun-woo turned to the Altarian delegation. Admiral, you came here looking for a lost civilization. Instead, you found the galaxy's new guardians. Admiral Daeho looked out at the massive human fleet, then back at the calm ambassador. What happens now? Now you get to choose, Admiral. You can help us bring peace to the galaxy, or you can watch us do it alone. Outside, more ships decloaked, revealing a fleet so large it blocked out the stars. Supreme Chancellor Zendari of the Galactic Council had ruled for over 800 years. In all that time, nothing had surprised him more than the message now playing on every screen in Council headquarters. A human in a dark uniform stood on what appeared to be a starship bridge. Behind him, through a massive window, Council members could see Earth's moon. But it wasn't the moon from their historical records. The entire surface had been converted into a gleaming metal structure, covered with docking bays and weapon systems. Greetings, members of the Galactic Council, the human said. I am Fleet Commander Oh Seung-min of the Earth Defense Force. We apologize for missing your meetings for the past 3,000 years. We were busy. Chancellor Zendari's forearms trembled as he watched the transmission. Around the council chamber, representatives from hundreds of species sat in shocked silence. During our absence, Commander Oh continued, we have been observing galactic civilization. We learned your languages, studied your technology, and watched your conflicts. What we saw troubled us deeply. The view behind the human changed, showing images of recent galactic conflicts. Burning worlds, refugee ships, and devastated colonies filled the screen. In the past millennium alone, we documented 47 major wars, 163 smaller conflicts, and the complete extinction of 11 species. We watched as the strong preyed upon the weak while the Council spoke of peace. Council member Vorthak of the militant Saurian Empire stood up angrily. How dare you judge us? You primitives hid on your little world while we built galactic civilization. Commander O's expression remained calm. We were not hiding, Counselor. We were preparing. The view shifted again, showing space around Earth's moon. What looked like empty space began to shimmer and change. Massive shapes appeared, each one larger than the Council's greatest battleships. Hundreds of them materialized in perfect formation. By the void, whispered Council member Tissera of the Aquatic Deepthink Collective. How many ships do they have? This is just our local defense force, Commander O replied, somehow hearing her whisper across light years of space. Our main battle fleets are stationed throughout the galaxy. Chancellor Zendari found his voice. Impossible. Our sensors would have detected any ships that large. Your sensors detect what we allow them to detect, Chancellor. Our stealth technology is several generations ahead of anything in your database. Captain Zhang Yejin stood beside Commander O on the bridge of the flagship Earthrise. She had spent 50 years commanding Earth's most advanced vessels, but even she was impressed by the scale of what they were revealing. Chancellor, Captain Zhang said, Earth has developed technology that your scientists would consider impossible. We can manipulate gravity, control time flow around our ships, and travel across the galaxy in minutes rather than months. Prove it, demanded General Krausthor of the Hegemony Military Alliance. Captain Zhang smiled. Very well. She activated a control panel, and suddenly every Hegemony ship in the galaxy found their weapon systems temporarily disabled. A few seconds later, the weapons came back online. That was a gentle demonstration, Captain Zhang explained. We could have permanently disabled your entire fleet, but we prefer to make our point without causing harm. Back on Earth, President Seo Tae-wan prepared to address the galaxy directly. He had been elected to lead Earth's government specifically for this moment. His job was to guide humanity's emergence from isolation. Citizens of the galaxy, President Seo began, his image appearing on every screen in council space. Earth has decided to end its isolation. We do not wish to conquer or control you. We wish to protect you. Protect us from what? Asked Council member Yilnara of the Peaceful Garden Worlds Federation. From yourselves, President Seo replied sadly. We have identified 14 species currently facing extinction due to aggressive neighbors. 6 worlds are being stripped of their natural resources by stronger powers. 3 civil wars could end tomorrow if someone with sufficient strength demanded peace. And you believe you have that strength? Chancellor Zendari asked. We know we do. On the bridge of the Earthrise, Strategic Commander Park Do-hyun monitored galactic communications. He could see military forces mobilizing across known space as species reacted to Earth's revelation. Commander O, he reported, the Hegemony of 5 is assembling their combined fleet. Initial estimates show 50,000 ships. Let them come, Commander O replied. It's time they learned that military strength without wisdom leads to defeat. Dr. Lee Ga-young, Earth's chief science officer, joined the conversation. Sir, should we reveal our full capabilities? Not yet. Let them think their numbers matter. The Hegemony fleet was the largest military force in galactic history. 5 powerful species had combined their armies to create an unstoppable war machine. They had conquered dozens of worlds and forced hundreds of others to accept their terms. War Marshal Krausthor commanded the fleet from his massive dreadnought. He had never lost a battle and saw Earth's ultimatum as an insult to be answered with overwhelming force. All ships, he broadcast to his fleet, prepare for immediate deployment to the Sol system. These humans think their hidden fleet frightens us. They will learn what real military power looks like. On Earth, Ambassador Cho Woo-jin received reports of the Hegemony's mobilization. He had spent decades studying galactic military tactics and knew this confrontation was inevitable. President Seo, he reported, the Hegemony fleet is moving toward our system. They'll arrive in 6 hours. Good, President Seo replied. It's time for the galaxy to see what happens when peace is rejected. Fleet Admiral Minho activated Earth's deepest defense protocols. Across the solar system, weapons platforms that had been disguised as asteroids came online. Ships hidden in the gas giant's atmospheres prepared for battle. The moon's surface opened to reveal massive cannons that could crack planets. All units, he commanded, prepare for hostile contact. Rules of engagement are clear. Disable, don't destroy. We want to teach them, not exterminate them. Captain Shin Da-un of the stealth destroyer Silent Wind monitored the approaching hegemony fleet from her invisible position. Her ship was one of hundreds positioned throughout the galaxy. Ready to demonstrate Earth's true reach. Admiral, she reported. The hegemony thinks they're bringing 50,000 ships against one world. They have no idea we have forces positioned behind every one of their home planets. 6 hours later, the hegemony fleet arrived at the edge of the Sol system. War Marshal Krasthor was confident that sheer numbers would force Earth to surrender. Humans, he broadcast, you are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Surrender now and we will consider merciful terms. Commander O's response was simple. Marshal, you're not outnumbered. You're outclassed. Space around the hegemony fleet began to shimmer. Earth's ships decloaked. But instead of appearing in front of the enemy fleet, they materialized in perfect formation around it. The hegemony found themselves surrounded by ships that dwarfed their largest vessels. Weapons that could destroy stars pointed at them from every direction. Impossible, whispered Krasthor. How did you get behind us? Marshal, Commander O replied. We've been behind you for 3,000 years. You just didn't know it. But the greatest shock was yet to come. As the two fleets faced each other in the space between worlds, Earth's long-range sensors detected something that would change everything. Commander, called out Sensor Officer Quan Min-su, I'm detecting massive energy signatures at the galaxy's edge. Something big is coming through intergalactic space. Commander O studied the readings and his face went pale. How big? Millions of ships, sir. They're not from our galaxy. The revelation hit everyone at once. While the galaxy had spent centuries fighting among themselves, something far worse had been approaching from the dark space between galaxies. Earth's long isolation hadn't just been about building a fleet to police the galaxy. They had been preparing for something much more dangerous. War Marshal Krasthor stared at the human ships surrounding his fleet. Each vessel was massive, sleek, and bristling with weapons he didn't recognize. His tactical officers reported power readings that shouldn't be possible. This is impossible, he muttered. No single world could build a fleet this large. His second-in-command, General Yardok, checked the scanner readings again. Marshal, their ships are reading as having nearly unlimited power sources. Our computers can't even analyze their weapon systems. Krasthor activated his fleet-wide communication system. All hegemony ships, battle formations. These humans may have surprised us, but we still outnumber them. Admiral Bei Jin-ho of Earth's 3rd Battle Fleet received the hegemony's movement orders through his ship's advanced sensors. He had been preparing for this moment for decades. Hegemony Fleet, he broadcast calmly. You are trespassing in Earth space. Please withdraw to a safe distance. We don't take orders from primitives, Krasthor replied angrily. All ships, charge weapons! What happened next would be remembered as the moment the galaxy learned to fear and respect Earth. Strategic Commander Park Do-hyun activated Protocol 7 from his command ship. Across the solar system, gravity manipulation devices came online. The technology was based on controlled miniature black holes that could bend space itself. Suddenly, every ship in the hegemony fleet stopped moving. Not slowed down, not disabled, completely motionless as if space itself had become solid around them. What's happening? Krasthor shouted at his crew. Why aren't we moving? His chief engineer stared at impossible readings. Marshal, we're trapped in artificial gravity wells. Something is controlling the fabric of space around us. Science Officer Lee Ga-young appeared on their communication screen, speaking from the Earth flagship. War Marshal, your ships are currently locked in place by gravitational manipulation technology. Your engines are fine, but space itself won't let you move. Impossible. No one can control gravity. We can, Lee Ga-young replied simply. Would you like to see what else we can do? She nodded to her assistant, and suddenly time around the hegemony fleet began moving differently. Some ships found themselves moving in slow motion, while others sped up rapidly. Crews watched in terror as reality itself bent around them. This is just a demonstration, Dr. Lee explained. We can slow time around your ships until your crews age to dust, or speed it up until your engines burn out in seconds. We prefer not to do either. Fleet Admiral Minho watched the demonstration from Earth's command center. Around him, hundreds of human officers monitored the galaxy's reaction to the display. "Sir," reported Communications Officer Im Young-ho, "we're receiving surrender requests from 12 hegemony worlds. Their leaders are asking for immediate peace talks. What about the fleet itself?" War Marshal Krazathor is still refusing to withdraw. Minho sighed. Some people only learned through complete defeat. Captain Shin Da-yoon commanded one of Earth's most advanced stealth ships, positioned near the hegemony's home system. She had been waiting for this moment to demonstrate Earth's true reach. "All stealth units," she broadcast on secured channels, "activate Revelation Protocol." Across the galaxy, hundreds of Earth ships decloaked simultaneously. They appeared in orbit around every major hegemony world, every military base, and every strategic resource center. On the hegemony homeworld of Krar Prime, millions of citizens looked up to see massive human ships blocking out their sun. Similar scenes played out on dozens of worlds as the population realized their entire civilization was at Earth's mercy. "Marshal," his communications officer reported with a shaking voice, "we're receiving reports from our homeworlds. Earth ships have appeared in orbit around all of them." Krazathor felt his confidence crumble. "How many ships do they have?" "Unknown, sir. They seem to be everywhere at once." Ambassador Cho Woo-jin addressed the galaxy from his position aboard the diplomatic vessel New Harmony. His message went out to every world, every ship, and every space station simultaneously. "Citizens of the galaxy," he began, "what you are witnessing is not an invasion. Earth has no desire to conquer your worlds or control your governments. We are demonstrating that we have the power to end conflicts peacefully." "Then what do you want?" came a transmission from the terrified Hegemony Council. "We want you to stop fighting each other and start working together. The galaxy faces a threat much greater than any war between species." On Earth, deep space analyst Kwon Min-soo studied the readings from the galaxy's edge. What he saw made his blood run cold. "Admiral Minho," he called out urgently, "the intergalactic contacts are getting clearer. I'm counting over 10 million hostile ships approaching our galaxy. How long until they arrive?" "6 months, sir." "Maybe less." Minho realized that Earth's demonstration of power had come just in time. The galaxy needed to unite immediately or face complete destruction. Commander Oh Sung-min addressed both the Hegemony fleet and the watching galaxy. "War Marshal, we are releasing your ships now. You have a choice to make." The gravity fields around the Hegemony fleet disappeared. Their ships could move freely again, but they were still surrounded by Earth's massive vessels. "You can continue to threaten us," Commander Oh continued, "or you can listen to what we have to say about the real danger approaching this galaxy." War Marshal Krazathor's pride warred with his survival instincts. His fleet was completely outmatched, but admitting defeat to a species he had considered primitive was almost impossible. "What danger?" he asked reluctantly. Strategic Director Hong Soo-bin appeared on the communication screen. She had spent her entire career studying threats to galactic civilization. "Marshal, for the past 500 years, Earth's deep space sensors have been tracking a massive machine intelligence from the Andromeda Galaxy. They call themselves the Void Devourers, and they consume entire galaxies. That's impossible. They've already consumed 3 smaller galaxies. Between Andromeda and the Milky Way, our estimates show they'll arrive at our galaxy's outer rim in 6 months." Director Hong activated a holographic display showing the approaching threat. Millions of dark ships move through intergalactic space like a plague of metal locusts. "Each of their ships is capable of cracking planets," she explained. "They don't conquer worlds. They strip them down to raw materials and move on. Every living thing in their path dies." The Hegemony fleet watched in horrified silence as the display showed world after world being consumed by the mechanical swarm. "Why should we believe you?" General Yardok asked. "Because," Director Hong replied, "this is why Earth built such a massive fleet. We weren't preparing to fight the galaxy's current civilizations. We were preparing to save them." Chancellor Ryu Jae-sung, Earth's new representative to the reformed Galactic Council, appeared on screens throughout the galaxy. His message was simple but urgent. "Every species in this galaxy must choose now," he said. "You can continue fighting each other and face the Void Devourers divided and weak, or you can unite under Earth's protection and have a chance to survive." "What kind of protection?" asked a representative from the peaceful Harmony worlds. Earth will share all our technology with any species willing to work together for galactic defense. Our weapons, our ships, our communication systems, everything we've developed over 3,000 years of preparation. War Marshal Krasthor looked at his fleet, then at the human ships surrounding them, then at the display showing millions of mechanical devourers approaching their galaxy. For the first time in his military career, surrender seemed like the wise choice. Earth fleet, he broadcast slowly. The hegemony of 5 requests immediate alliance talks. Around the galaxy, similar messages began arriving as species that had been enemies for centuries realized they faced extinction unless they worked together. The demonstration was over. Now the real work would begin. Fleet Admiral Minho smiled as reports came in from across the galaxy. Weapons were being powered down, peace talks were starting, and ancient enemies were reaching out to each other. All units, he commanded, begin Phase 2. It's time to build the largest military alliance in galactic history. Outside, Earth ships moved into new formations as they prepared to welcome former enemies as new allies. The galaxy was finally ready to unite, just in time to face the greatest threat it had ever known. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been going for 12 hours straight. Representatives from every known species crowded into the great assembly hall, their voices mixing into a chaos of different languages and concerns. Chancellor Ryu Jae-sung stood at the center podium, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching void devourers. The mechanical fleet had grown larger as more of their scouts detected the Milky Way galaxy. The enemy will reach our outer systems in 4 months, he announced. Every day we delay unifying our defenses is a day we lose in preparation. Council member Vorthak of the Saurian Empire slammed his clawed fist on his desk. How do we know these humans aren't lying? Maybe they created this threat themselves to force us into submission. Strategic Director Hong Subin stepped forward calmly. Counselor, our deep space monitoring stations have been tracking this threat for 5 centuries. Here is the complete data record. She activated a holographic timeline showing the Void Devourer's path of destruction across multiple galaxies. World after world disappeared as the mechanical swarm consumed everything in its path. The Andromedans, the spiral galaxy we call NGC 4472, the dwarf galaxy cluster near the Void's edge, all gone, stripped down to basic materials and consumed. Council member Tassara of the Aquatic Deep Think Collective studied the data with her large eyes. How many ships are we facing? Current count is 14 million vessels, Director Hong replied. Each one is approximately 5 kilometers long and designed to crack planetary surfaces for resource extraction. The assembly hall fell silent as the massive scale of the threat sank in. War Marshal Krasthor, who had arrived as Earth's prisoner just days before, now sat as an ally at the strategy table. What weapons do they use? Gravitational pulse cannons, plasma drill arrays, and molecular disassembly beams, Director Hong explained. They don't fight, they process. To them, we're just raw materials waiting to be harvested. Fleet Admiral Shin Da-yoon addressed the assembly from her position as Earth's new supreme military commander. The good news is that the Void Devourers are not expecting resistance. They've consumed 3 galaxies without meeting organized opposition. And the bad news? Asked General Yardok of the former hegemony forces. They outnumber every ship in our galaxy, combined by a factor of 20 to 1. Despite the terrifying odds, Earth's military leaders remained confident. They had spent 3,000 years preparing for exactly this kind of threat. Captain Moon Ah-young commanded the first integrated fleet in galactic history. Her task force included ships from 40 different species, all retrofitted with Earth technology and linked through quantum communication networks. All vessels. Report status, she ordered. The responses came in a mixture of languages, automatically translated by Earth's communication systems. Altarian Defense Squadron ready. Earth weapon systems online. Saurian Assault Wing prepared. Gravity manipulation drives functional. Deep Think collective ships ready. Time dilation fields activated. For the first time in galactic history, species that had been enemies for millennia were working together as perfectly coordinated units. Battle Coordinator Im Young-ho monitored the integration process from Earth's command center. Thousands of alien vessels were being upgraded with human technology, while their crews trained alongside Earth officers. Admiral Minho, he reported, We've successfully integrated 60% of the galaxy's military forces. The neural link networks are allowing perfect coordination between species that couldn't even communicate a week ago. What about the remaining 40%? Some species are still hesitant to trust us with their ships. Others are having technical difficulties adapting our technology to their different biologies. President Xiao Taiwan addressed this concern in his daily broadcast to the galaxy. We understand that trusting Earth with your most advanced military technology is difficult, he said. But the alternative is extinction. On the oceanic world of Tidal Home, the aquatic Deepthink Collective debated whether to fully commit their forces to Earth's command. Elder consciousness. Mortai spoke for the collective mind. The human's technology is impressive, but we have survived for 8 million years by trusting only ourselves. And yet, replied younger consciousness Pelsan, we have never faced a threat like this. The mind images from the consumed galaxies show total extinction. No survivors, no escapees. The debate continued for hours until a transmission from Earth changed everything. Dr. Kim, So Young, appeared on their communication screens with data that made the aquatic beings' blood run cold. Respected Deepthink Collective, she said, our long-range sensors have detected Void Devourer's scout ships in your home system's outer asteroid belt. They've been there for 6 weeks analyzing your world's mineral content. The collective mind recoiled in horror. The enemy was already here, watching, planning. How long do we have? Elder Mortai asked. The main fleet will arrive in 93 days. Your world is on their priority consumption list due to its rare deep ocean crystals. Within hours, every Deepthink vessel was heading to Earth's integration centers. Similar scenes played out across the galaxy as species realized the threat was already among them. Void Devourer scouts had infiltrated dozens of systems, cataloging resources and identifying the most valuable targets. Fleet Admiral Min Ho coordinated the largest military operation in galactic history from his command ship, the United Harmony. The vessel was a miracle of cooperative engineering, built by dozens of species working together. All sector commanders, report, he ordered. Outer rim defenses at 80% completion, reported Admiral Kang Dae-ho, now commanding the galaxy's eastern defenses core world protection grids fully operational, added Commander Choi Ji-woo from the Galactic Center. Deep space early warning networks are active, confirmed Captain Zhang Yejin from her position monitoring the void between galaxies. The transformation was remarkable. In just 3 months, the galaxy had gone from divided, warring civilizations to a unified, military force sharing technology and resources. But the real test came when the Void Devourers arrived. Long-range sensors detected the enemy fleet's arrival at the galaxy's edge, 72 hours before visual contact. 14 million mechanical ships emerged from the darkness between galaxies like a plague of metal death. All units, Fleet Admiral Min Ho commanded, this is not a battle for territory or resources. This is a fight for the right of biological life to exist in this universe. The enemy fleet moved with mechanical precision, spreading out to attack multiple systems simultaneously. They had done this before in other galaxies, and they expected no organized resistance. They were wrong. Captain Shin Da-un led the first engagement in the outer rim system of Kelvara. Her combined fleet included Earth vessels, reformed hegemony ships, Altarian defense cruisers, and even the peaceful Garden World trading vessels retrofitted with weapons. Enemy scouts approaching, reported her tactical officer. 60,000 mechanical ships in standard consumption formation. All ships activate time dilation fields. Battle Plan Omega-7 is now in effect. What the Void Devourers encountered was unlike anything in their programming. Instead of desperate, uncoordinated resistance, they faced perfectly synchronized fleets using technology they had never seen. Earth's time manipulation systems allowed the galactic fleet to move at different temporal speeds, making them nearly impossible to target. Gravity weapons collapsed entire enemy formations into artificial black holes. Most devastating of all, Earth's quantum communication systems let the unified fleet coordinate across vast distances instantly. Enemy fleet attempting to retreat, reported the tactical officer. Don't let them escape, Captain Shin ordered. If any Void Devourers return to their main force with intelligence about our capabilities, they'll adapt their tactics. The battle was swift and decisive. 60,000 mechanical ships were destroyed without a single galactic vessel lost. But this was just the beginning. Across the galaxy, similar battles raged as the unified forces met the Void Devourer invasion. The mechanical fleet, designed to consume undefended worlds, found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't understand or defeat. The galaxy that had spent millennia fighting among themselves had finally found something worth uniting for: the right to continue being alive. And for the first time in their existence, the Void Devourers faced something they had never encountered before: defeat.